Today we'll be talking about Spider-Man 3. Me and him have both got very different opinions, so I probably should introduce him. So, who are you?
Hi, my name is Tentjumper, and I'm a film-related YouTuber. I do animation and other film-related content.
Yeah, don't forget to subscribe to him. He makes great videos, probably better than mine. Anyway, I'm the Grinning Critic, and I love talking about movies with the grin. So, Spider-Man 3. To give you a bit of context, we're both going to say our experiences with Spider-Man. So, Spider-Man 2002, what do you think of that movie?
I love the original Spider-Man movie. I'd give that an absolute A+ in my opinion.
Okay, I love it, but the one thing that really holds it back for me is the cheese with Green Goblin. It's just a bit too cheesy and you don't see his face.
Yeah.
So that's why I'd only go with an A in that one. Spider-Man 2.
I think this is the one we can agree on. I actually think that's definitely an A+ as well. I love that movie.
A+ as well, fantastic movie. There's nothing that I really dislike about that movie. It's one of my favourite movies of all time. Probably my 5th favourite currently. The Amazing Spider-Man.
Okay, so this one, I do like The Amazing Spider-Man, but it does have some issues. I don't really like Andrew Garfield's acting of it. I mean, he did a good job with the writing and everything, but I think I'd give it probably an A-.
Okay. Amazing Spider-Man, I've always quite liked the character of Peter Parker in The Amazing Spider-Man. I like the more punky kind of character. I used to not like it, but I've now come to realise that's actually pretty good. I quite like the movie, but I don't love it. It's got some major flaws with its tone. The tone is very off, and the colour palette, yuck. I give it a B. Amazing Spider-Man 2. I actually haven't seen it, but I haven't heard great things. I will see it one day, guys. I will do a video on it. What do you think of it?
I have seen it, and I am the one defender of this movie. I give it a solid A. I like it better than The Amazing Spider-Man 1.
Okay, Spider-Man Homecoming.
Now, I actually really like this movie. I think, yes, I feel like Iron Man overshadows Spider-Man a bit, so I'd probably give it an A.
Okay, I'd give it an A-. I love everything about the movie, but the action. The action is just really disappointing in that final scene. Although it's an entertaining scene, the action with Vulture is just terrible. Spider-Man Far From Home.
Okay, so this one, they just did something with the character Peter Parker and all the different character interactions, and I'd just give this an A+. It was just so fun to watch. And this is the part where...
Okay, sorry, Look, it's a fine movie, it's fun to consume, but quality-wise, it's got some major issues. I just don't buy into the Edith Glasses thing. It doesn't really make any sense to me. There's a lot of issues with that movie. No Way Home, man.
Okay, so this one got all of my 3 favourite Spider-Men in the same movie, so that is an A+ as far as I can see.
Look, it does have some minor issues going into it. I wish that they did more with the free Spider-Man, but it's just such a fun movie, you've got to see it. I'd give it an A-. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
That is art in a movie. A+.
Yes, but I'm willing to acknowledge that the style wasn't properly developed then. It still looked a little bit funny, but otherwise, a fantastic Spider-Man movie. I'm going to give it an A.
Now, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. You want to go?
You go first.
I'd say they somehow managed to do it again, so A+, looking forward to the third one.
I'm looking forward to the third one too. I think, although I said in my end of the year content and my best films of the year, I'd up it to the A+, I think I'm going to stay with the A because, as I mentioned in my initial review, there was a couple little things that bothered me. Hopefully they'll clear those in the next films, but they are a couple little flaws, so I have to stick with the A. But a fantastic movie nonetheless. Still my favourite movie of 2023. Venom: The Last Dance is coming out in October, and I thought that I should probably do some Spider-Man coverage on this channel. So I'm here today to talk about Spider-Man 3! Everyone's favourite Spider-Man movie, right? Okay, no jokes. Now, let's talk about Spider-Man 3. Spoilers everywhere. So we'll talk about the positives first. So in case you're not aware, Spider-Man 3 had a massive budget at the time of the movie's release. The movie costed an estimated somewhere between $250 and $300 million to make, which was the most expensive movie at the time. And you can really see the budget here.
There is a lot of good fight scenes, web swinging, big set pieces and everything.
I mean, the fight with Sandman with the train, that's beautiful. Sandman's birth scene, fantastic. The big fight at the end, it looks great with the big Sandman.
Yeah.
It just looks great, this movie, and you really see the budget here.
Yes, I definitely say they've definitely achieved at least a visually appealing movie.
Yeah, not the most visually appealing Spider-Man movie. That would have to be Across the Spider-Verse.
But that's cheating.
Okay, but of the live-action ones, I'd say this isn't the most appealing, but it's still quite an
It definitely
appealing
shows
movie.
its budget. Another positive is this movie is actually quite memorable because of its humour.
Now, another thing that I love about this movie is the dance scene. That is genuinely my favourite scene in the movie. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, so, well, you know, probably seen this scene in a million clips over YouTube. But the...
Can I keep that in?
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
Thanks. Okay. Yeah, it's just really funny. Look, it's a bit over top, but I have tons of fun watching that scene. It's just so much fun to watch. And I like when Peter gets up on stage at the...
And does the... Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, especially in this movie, because they don't really have a comedic relief character, they need to include these sort of scenes to lighten up the mood, especially because there's a very dark tone to this movie.
And Spider-Man should be a lighter tone superhero, so I'm glad that Raimi realised that and put in some lighter scenes. Now, there's one thing that people always slam against this movie. This movie is 3 movies in one. You've got this subplot with Gwen Stacy, you've got this stuff with Sandman, and you've got this stuff with Venom, all in this one movie.
And this is the one thing we can agree on. This movie jumps around way too much. Like, we're having Spider-Man having a really sweet moment where MJ and we get Venom introduced, and then suddenly we're with Sandman, and he's running from the criminals, and then suddenly we're back, and it's...
Just pick one villain, and they've got a Harry subplot as well. It's 4 movies in one. This movie is getting crazy. What? Just pick one, for crying out loud. Pick one. Pick Harry. Just have a fulfilling arc with Harry. Just have a fulfilling arc with Harry's character. Resolve his character. Don't include Venom and Sandman. Just have Harry be the major villain. How cool would that be? Green Goblin Jr.
I actually really think that this movie would have been benefited if they split it into 2 parts.
That's fair.
So they could have introduced Venom in the first movie and then resolved Venom in the second movie.
Yeah, I don't want too much going on.
That's actually a fair point. This movie is a lot of things going on at once, and it's very crazy and a bit disorientating to watch.
Now let's talk about the Venom subplot. The usage of Venom in this movie, I think, is very disappointing. They really should have only had one villain in this movie. There's nothing that the 2 characters really do with each other until the very end, and it just would have worked better if you had one villain that we could clearly follow.
However, I do slightly disagree with that, because the character of Venom himself doesn't work by himself. He needs Peter to go, like, as in the Sandman fight scene where he, like, absolutely brutalizes Sandman. You need a villain for him to turn into Venom and then beat the snot out of, so you can see that Venom has made him angry and aggressive. Without that extra villain, you can't have the Venom subplot. It's almost like Venom itself is a symbiote to that plot.
Now let's talk about Sandman. I've got a lot of issues with this villain character. I really like his backstory, wanting to help someone, doing anything to help someone. But I have major issues with how Sandman's arc closes out. He is someone who really wants to help his daughter, and you never learn what happens to him and her at the very end. That I just find really sad, that we never know what exactly happens to him. I just think that they really should have included something just showing what happens to the 2 characters.
I can see that would be a good conclusion, but it also leaves it open to interpretation and potentially later movies, which we never got, but...
That's the thing, sometimes you just want movies to close out.
I can agree with that.
I also wasn't too big a fan of Harry going out for revenge and Peter, after it seemed like it had been moderately resolved at the end of Spider-Man 2.
I think it actually left it on a cliffhanger, because he found out about his father, and then he was so shocked that he let Peter go, but he still had that vendetta.
Yeah, but he agreed to help Peter. He could have killed Peter. He had Peter tied, and then he just let him go. So it's clear that it kind of had been resolved.
But he didn't take the goblin juice, though. After he took the goblin juice, then that would have changed who he was. But I can see what you're meaning, but that's because of the shock of the moment, right? He was like, oh crap, my best friend is Spider-Man.
He almost killed him, and then he just let Spider-Man go and help save the city.
Well, that's the second movie, though.
Yeah, but I don't have issues with that. It's what I have issues is what happens in the third movie, where Harry's some villain trying to go after Peter and trying to get MJ.
But to what Harry believes is that Peter killed his father, right?
Yeah.
But he didn't put two and two together. He's like, Spider-Man killed my father. Peter didn't kill my father. But Spider-Man is Peter. And so when his brain puts that together, he's like, hang on, Peter killed my father.
Yeah, but he should have acted immediately. But I think we can both agree that this is a fairly entertaining movie to watch.
Yes, it is. It has its fun moments, and it's especially like the ending where he puts on his mask and he goes out as Spider-Man again. And all the fight scenes, all the jokes that are cracked, it definitely has entertainment value.
So what grade would you give Spider-Man 3 from an A+ to an F?
In my opinion, and I've been going between two different grades, I believe that Spider-Man 3 is a B+.
B+, hey?
It's a great movie, and it has a lot of flaws which stopped it from being an A, but in my opinion, it's a B+.
Okay. I'm gonna say that Spider-Man 3 gets a C. There's some scenes I love in it, but there's some scenes I hate in it. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to Tentjumper. Anything you want to say?
Well, Spider-Man 3 is an amazing movie. I'm Tentjumper.
I'm the Grinning Critic. Thanks for watching.